Hi, my name is Alex Fenske. I'm the team leader here at Keller Elite, and I wanted to talk to you today about a question I get a lot, which is, hey, I think I'm ready to hire an administrative assistant or an operations person. What should I have them do? Um, for those of us that are with Keller Williams, there are some great resources inside of the KW Connect leverage resource page where you've got sample job descriptions, personality assessments, all sorts of stuff like that. And yet, still, when the rubber meets the road, there's you want to be able to provide really clear guidance on the categories and the outcomes that your administrative or executive assistant is going to be responsible for. And so what I'm going to share with you is something I learned from Gene Rivers, highly accomplished real estate professional out of Florida, and a guy that really knows what he's talking about. And he's categorized it into 5 different systems that your operations person should be putting into place. Now, when I say putting into place, what I mean is typically when an agent gets to the point where you're doing, 30 to 40 transactions a year, maybe even more on your own, you're closing a lot of deals, but you're a mess, right? Nothing you've done has been systematic and purposeful. You've just been winging it, flying by the seat of your pants. Your listing presentation is not documented. Your database is a mess. Your leads are coming in scattered on bar napkins and sheets of paper and business cards that you took crumbled out of the dryer, right? Everything is like you're doing a lot of deals, but it's a disaster. And so your operations director's job is to come in and undisasterify you. And this is how they would do it. And these are the 5 systems that Gene Rivers teaches. So here we go. 5 systems. These are in priority order. So number 1 is the most important and the first that needs to be put into place. Number 1 is your marketing system. Now, when I say marketing, I mean everything that has to do with all of your lead generation sources. That's how you get all of your leads and get them into your database. It has to do with administering and managing your database itself, as well as the marketing and prospecting plans that need to occur within it. Your marketing system is the number 1 most important because that's the one that's going to help actually grow the business. If your admin comes in and they only help you service business, it might make things take a little bit less time. It might provide a little bit better of an experience for your customers, but it's not going to grow your business, not directly at least. And so this is number 1. Your admin's number 1 job is to actually grow your business. And they're going to do it through implementing systems in marketing. So primarily what this would be is a focus around executing a 36 touch plan, which is a multi-channel marketing plan that's going to keep the attention and build mind share within everybody who's in your database when it's properly executed. Properly executing it when you're a busy solo agent is probably not happening. And so it's their job to get that into place. When are we sending mailers? How often? What are they going to say? What does our email marketing plan look like? What tools do we use? How often are we sending? How often are we calling? How are we getting the call list to the agent so that their job is as easy as possible? These are all the things that your marketing system encompasses. So number 1, marketing. Number 2, your seller system. Now, your seller system is everything that happens from the time you hang up the phone and you schedule a listing appointment all the way until the listing closes and beyond, because of course you're going to even have post-closing follow-up. So your seller system encompasses everything like your pre-qualification script and process, your file setup, what information you're pulling through, how a CMA is done, your pre-listing package, which is really important, and you probably as a solo agent aren't doing one. Your pre-listing package, the listing presentation itself. If you're winging it like most solo agents are, it's time to get it documented, get it consistent. From there, your follow-up system for what happens when a seller signs at the appointment. What happens when a seller doesn't sign at the appointment? What do we do after that? And then all the way through coordinating photography, staging, listing input, price change schedules, communication process for once the listing is live, and then contract to close and beyond. That's all in your seller system. That's number 2. That's servicing business. Okay, there's a part of that that's generating business, which is your pre-listing and listing appointment process. But this is primarily servicing business, internal operations. Number 3 is your buyer system. All the same stuff except on the buyer side. I just hung up the phone, I scheduled a buyer consultation. What do we do now? Refer them to a lender, make sure we got a pre-approval, set up an MLS search, get the buyer consultation script down, the needs analysis, the agency agreement, that whole process. If you're working with showing partners, how does all that work? And then contract to close. Your buyer system. Now, your seller system comes before your buyer system because sellers create buyers, and we want to place the focus there first. So after your marketing system, seller system, and buyer systems are all in place, the next one is going to be your financial system. Now, your financial system is how you're keeping track of the money. And the reason that your operations manager or your executive assistant is doing this is because it really isn't a great use of your time to be pulling together numbers and working on building a profit and loss statement, or using the Millionaire Real Estate Agent chart of accounts to organize your finances. It's not your best use of time to do that. However, it needs to be done, and you need to be reviewing it. So their job is to set up some tracking systems so that you have intelligence on your financials of your business, so that you know when you're operating profitably, and you know what the return on investment is on your various lead generation expenditures and everything that comes with having a profit and loss statement down. So that's your number 4, is your financial system. Number 5 is your growth system. Now, in another video, I talk about the 7-level organizational model and the fact that once you hire this person who does this, the next hire is somebody that they find and they lead and they manage. Because it's really critical, based on everything we know and everything we've seen of the most successful agents, that the person you hire to do this has leadership capacity, because you're not going to have time as you grow and grow and grow the business to find, hire, manage, lead everybody in the organization. You need somebody else doing a lot of that work, and their job, number 5, is to get your growth systems in place. What job ads are we using? What roles are we hiring for? Where do we advertise them? How much do we spend? How do we handle the screening interviews? Do we use a behavioral assessment? Well, what are all those things that we're going to do to go and find the next person or next people who's going to become a part of this business as we grow the organizational chart? So with these, you can see there's quite a lot to do here. A lot of people will say, I'm going to hire an administrative person. They're going to do my paperwork. Well, you can't hire them and say, do my paperwork. You're going to have to give them some outcomes. So what I would encourage you to do is, inside of each of these, starting with number 1, paint the picture, develop your vision of what that system looks like when it's done, right? And you can sit down with them and say, I envision that our marketing system looks like this and works like this when it's done. And here are the results that are coming out of it. Here's the conversion rate we're getting out of our database. Here's the level of mind share that we've got. And you paint that picture of what the end outcome looks like. And then you're going to undergo a process of training them and keeping them accountable to the plans that they make and the work that they do to implement and achieve the systems that create, or that achieve that vision. So you're going to do that for each of those systems, but in that order. And when you give the right person those final outcomes, they're going to know what they need to know in order to go and chase them for you. And your job all the while is to be out there generating and converting more business, period. So they're going to do all this stuff, and it's going to buy you back time to you go and increase your income even more. And this is the way that you can effectively make use of your first hire in your real estate business. I hope this helps. Feel free to reach out with any questions.